All right, ladies, we're going to get started. Tonight is February 1st, 2017. Can't believe we're already in the second month of the year. And I know that you are either super excited where you are right now in the year, or you are kind of floundering already. So tonight's call is going to be based on letting go of our limiting beliefs and our fears. And I'm excited to talk about this topic because I am a firm believer that when you have a weakness, whether that be physically, spiritually, mentally, you have to hone in on that weakness and try to empower yourself in that weakness. So what I mean by that is I try to educate myself as much as I can when I have a certain weakness, whether that's reading personal development books or watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts of people that are drilling in my head the strength to get over that weakness I have. And so I want to empower you guys tonight in conquering those limiting beliefs, because we all have them, and especially I have them sometimes on a daily basis, because I am struggling some days, and I want to believe that, you know, I'm never gonna be able to see the end of this. I'm never gonna be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I know many of you can feel that way. And so I want you guys to know that you're not alone, because we all go through this phase in our business, in anybody's business. There are literally ups and downs, and sometimes those downs can be really emotional. But it's about staying focused during that downward spiral to have a plan in place and put some action into it in order for you to get out of that little dip in your business, to move right back up to where you want to get to. So I'm going to be looking over a couple of my notes here as we talk, or maybe I can't. I'm gonna see what I can do. Here we go. So I'm gonna be looking over a couple of my notes here while I talk, and I do have my notes on here as well. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about what limiting beliefs are. And in reality, it's what's keeping you from reaching your full potential. So when those thoughts start to come into your mind that no one wants to hear me talk about my story, or nobody's watching me, or nobody cares, or I'm not a good speaker, so how can I ever go live, right, on Facebook? You know, we have all these limiting beliefs that run through our mind, you know, whether that be on a daily basis or whenever, that hold us back from reaching our full potential, because we hold back because we're fearful, we're scared to go that extra step, because we're fearful of what other people are going to think of our newfound Beachbody business that, you know, everybody else is doing, and therefore, you know, you don't want to be that next stereotype, you know. And I had that fear too for a very long time. So we're going to be talking about tonight on how to get over those limiting beliefs. And I'm going to talk about a little bit on our vision and our why, because understanding what your vision and your why is one of the key aspects of what's going to allow you to get over those limiting beliefs. You have to have a clear why. And if you don't have a goal, you're not going to be able to get over those hurdles that are holding you back. So you want to be clear, and you want to be able to build momentum. Momentum is what's going to allow you to get over those hurdles. If you don't have any type of momentum going, when you're running that, like, you know, like on a track, and you're trying to get over a hurdle, if you don't have momentum going, you're going to fall over. And sometimes even when you do have momentum, you still fall over. But at least you expect that to happen, and you're ready to react. And so that's really what this business is about, is preparing for those hurdles and for those downward spirals ahead of time, so that when they do happen, you have a action plan in place to kind of get you out of that hole. Okay, so it can be so difficult when we're like, for example, when we've gotten so many no's in the last week, and we're like, okay, how am I going to sit here now and talk to another 15 people? That limiting belief of, oh, I've already gotten so many no's. What is the point of me talking to more people? That's a limiting belief that you are going to fail because of your previous hurdles that you had to go over. You have to change that belief, and you really have to work on changing your mindset. And a lot of that comes from personal development. That is a key piece on being able to change that mindset and that limiting belief that you can't do it. So, you know, if you're focusing as soon as you wake up on, I can't do this, or I'm going to fail, or I'm going to get so many no's today, then that's what's going to happen. As soon as you start, whatever you put into your mind is what is going to happen. You know, I know how difficult it is. Actually, this week, I was suffering a little bit of that downward spiral where I had like so many things just coming at me, where I needed to work on my business, but at the same time, I had my daughter's gymnastics. I had her school that I had to bring her to. I had appointments. I had this and that. And I just felt like that negative mindset creeping in. And I was sitting in my couch waiting to have to leave my house, thinking, oh my goodness, I still have to do my workout. I haven't done my workout. I haven't cooked dinner. You know, these long list of things I need to do. I almost fell into a little hole of like, poor me, like, you know, I can't do this. And then from that moment, I got up from my couch and I decided, okay, first thing I need to do is I need to take action. I need to take action somewhere for me to feel good about myself, to change that mindset. And I went down to my basement and I pressed play on my workout. That was the first step. And by doing that, I was able to change my mindset just a little bit more. And that led to me posting, that led me to being inspired and motivating, and ultimately it gave me force to be able to get over that fear that I'm going to fail, that I'm not going to be able to get over this hump. I'm not going to be able to succeed in my goals. It gave me that push. So sometimes we get stuck in this place. We get stuck because we are not taking action. We get stuck in the planning phase and we don't take the next step. So you have to decide what you're going to be doing. What is your action? And then you got to commit and do it. I know how hard that can be because, again, we have so many things going on. You know, like you may decide, okay, today I'm going to talk to 15 people, right? And sometimes that's my goal, 15 to 20 people per day, right? That's a great decision. But then I have to commit to doing it. That's the next step, is you have to take action. Those first two steps, deciding to do something and then committing to doing it, is where your success is going to come from. It's not from making more money. It's not from building rank. It's not from reaching Success Club. It's from committing to doing those first two steps, deciding and committing to taking action every single day and being consistent. That is where your success will come from. Day in, day out, whether you are exhausted or not, whether you have slept or not, taking action every single day is what will allow you to succeed and reach that last step. So you have to decide, commit, and succeed. Those are the steps. And I know that's kind of cheesy because that's like the line of Beachbody, right? But it has something to it. And it's true. It applies to all aspects of our life. We have to do the action. We have to take action. We can't just plan, and hope for the best or dream. You know, dreams are great, but dreams are just dreams and wishes when you don't make it into a plan and take commitment to doing it. Okay. You have to get over that story that that doesn't matter. Okay. Get over no one is watching me. Get over the fact that, okay, oh, nobody cares about my story. Nobody wants to hear my story again, because you don't know who's watching. You don't know that after the 10th, 20th, 30th, 100th time of you sharing your story, that it will touch the person that it needs to touch at that very moment. So you have to just continue doing that. Keep committing every single day to doing it. Despite what you feel are other people's perceptions of you doing that, you have to let go of that fear. You have to find why you want this so badly. I actually want to share a piece of my vision and my why when I shared this back in August. And I'm not sure if you guys were on the call when I shared this, but I wanted to be able to go back to it, because as I was reading this, it reminded me of why I need to do what I'm doing and why I need to commit every single day. If you don't have it written down, if you don't have that vision, that visualization of what your life can look like by you committing every single day and what success will look like in your life, you're not going to be able to stick around when things get hard, because it's going to get hard. So let me share it with you guys. And you guys know my backstory, but I just want to give you guys a little glimpse of that again, right? I grew up in a household with two very hardworking parents. And like most of us, my father was an immigrant and barely knew any English. And my mother came to the States when she was in her early 20s. Since I was a little kid, I recall almost never seeing my father. He worked 2 to 3 jobs around the clock, 7 days a week. My mom also worked full time, where she would usually pick us up at our nanny's house after 5 p.m. or so. My mother really didn't have a social life besides her family time. My dad, well, like I said, I was lucky if I saw him from the day I was born until the time I turned about almost 10 years old, which is when he started to build his own business. And I would like to say that I started to see him more when he started to do that, because he wanted to become his own boss, but he was a workaholic. And at that point, I maybe started to see him maybe on Sundays. So 1 day a week is when I started to see my dad a little bit more. My mother, thankfully at around my age, around 10 years old, decided that she wanted to stay home. And so she started working as a daycare provider. So she was able to be home while she worked so that she could be home with us. So I did start to see more of my mom when I started to go into my teens. But let me tell you, it was really hard building a relationship with my mother and my father. I didn't, up to that time, really learn how to communicate to them my desires, my dreams, my struggles, and so on. Fast forward up to now, despite the lack of relationship built in my young childhood, I have started to build a strong relationship with my parents in the last 10 years or so of my adulthood. And I'm grateful for all the hard work for helping them, for my parents, and for helping their children get ahead of in life, but pushing us for us to go to college, and so we could have a better future than they ever had. And I got my degree. I built a home with my personal family, and I have a family. I have children, and it was their example of hard work that I'm grateful that they built that foundation for me. But there has been this one aching thing that I refuse to do as my children grow up, and that's to not be there as they get older. I want to be part of their most critical years, which is their 0 to 5 years old. So when I was asked this question, why do you need coaching to work for you? I said, because I want to be part of my children's lives from the moment they arrive in this world. So what is my vision of where coaching can take me? This is where I want you guys to start thinking, where does my vision take me? For me, being with my family in the most critical times in their lives, putting them first and being able to balance work and family effectively is what I envision my life looking like on a daily basis. My parents showed me how to be the most hardworking person, but they didn't so much show me how to balance family and work. And so that's what I'm learning to do now. They say that you can either repeat history or change it. And I'm here to change that history for my children, but still taking the good from what I learned and applying new skills to grow closer to my family and build a more stable home where my children can refer to as a temple away from the world, a place of refuge. Not only do I want to be home, but I also want my husband to be part of my children's lives. And that is probably one of the biggest pushes right now. Besides contributing to our finances, is helping him be home so that he doesn't have to feel obligated to work overtime. Having both of us home and having that work and family balance is my ultimate vision for our family and for all families that work with me in the future. I have seen the difference what it looks like in a society where parents aren't available to their children and where they are. And I have seen the extreme differences. I know what would happen if coaching didn't work for me, and have seen where it ends up. And that's where my fear derives. I know what my life, I know what I don't want my life to look like. Me working full-time, 12-hour shifts, working weekends and holidays, missing big life events because of work, and saying no to my kids to many school practices, school games, and not being as present as I would like to, because I would be too exhausted after working countless hours, giving my all to another boss, leaving nothing for my family. That's like my ultimate fear, honestly, guys, is I don't want to leave my kids bits and pieces of myself. And that's kind of what I saw in my parents sometimes, is that exhausted, cranky, angry, yelling side of my parents as I was growing up. And now, like, I see that sometimes in myself when I am overworked and I get home and I'm yelling and screaming at my kids, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Am I repeating history? It's because I'm being overworked. And that's not what I envision my future to look like. I want to be able to be relaxed. I want to be able to be present in my children's lives in the very moment that I am with them, whether that's in their practice games or whether that's in their school recitals, whatever that may be. I want to be 100% present. So I want you guys to visualize what your future is. Like, I want you to visualize what you want your life to look like, because that is what's going to propel you to go beyond those limiting beliefs, to let go of those I can'ts, because I can'ts are not going to get you anywhere. You have to change that and say, I can do this. I can post on a daily basis. I can reach out to 10 people per day. I can go live on Facebook. I know that's like a fear of many of us, right? I can talk to people over the phone. I can talk to people when I'm out and about doing my thing and sharing what I do as a coach. I can. You're changing your I can't to I can do this. And you're doing that because you visualize and believe in that future that you want for your family. But you have to be able to have that strong foundation of your why and your vision. You have to truly go into this as if there is no plan B. And listen, I'm talking from like a person who has their degree, who has their job, right? I totally get where you're like, oh, well, you know, if this doesn't work out, I can just fall back to my career, my job. Sure, you can go back to that lifestyle living, you know, for my case, working 12-hour shifts, working weekends, working holidays, being exhausted, actually working like 13 to 14-hour days. Some days, depending on how crazy your floor is, right? You can go back to that, or you can decide right now that this is it. This is my plan. This is my freedom. This is my key to my vision that I have dreamt about all my life. If you've had a dream, right? A lot of people don't even know the concept of dreams because they've never plan on dreaming. They just figured they go with the motions and go to the nine to five job and, you know, party on the weekends and go back on Monday and repeat that for the rest of their life until they retire. Like, people don't believe that there can be a dream where you can actually vacation half time of the year and work and play, you know, work the other half of the year. Like, you can actually live your life the way you want to live it. People don't know that. You know, they're drilled into their mind that they go to college and they graduate and they work and then they retire, and this is like this certain way that you have to live life. But you don't. If you have a dream, you can actually go and achieve it, right? But you have to let go of those limiting beliefs, those fears that are holding you back. Those, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not as capable, I'm not as talented, I don't speak well in public. I don't speak good in public either, and I still, you know, struggle with speaking. But these videos, these team calls is what is giving me the strength, is allowing me to practice and improve my talent. So you have to be able to believe that and let go of other plans. This is the plan. This is the plan for me. Despite having a degree in nursing, despite having the military, no, this is the plan for me. This is how I'm going to achieve my dreams. You just got to believe in the process. You got to believe that it is going to take time. It doesn't happen overnight. And you got to realize that this time right now is what is allowing you to grow into the leader that you're going to become 2 years from now, 1 year from now, 3 years from now. This is a learning process, and you got to appreciate the molding that's occurring right now. And that's how I'm taking this opportunity I have right now in this growing phase, as I'm growing my team, our team, as I'm learning to become a better leader. Like, I'm using this time of so many hurdles to climb over to get to where I want as an experience that I'm growing and learning the very best because of these failures that I consistently have on a weekly, daily basis. So I want you guys to take some time tonight. This is your call to action, is writing down what your fears are. What is your limiting beliefs? What is your fear? And I want you to write it down on a piece of paper, and then I want you to rip up those fears and limiting beliefs up. Forget about those limiting beliefs and fears. Let go of them and don't look back. I want you to take control of that mind and just take action. I know it's easier said than done, but this is what differentiates those coaches that stall out and the coaches that succeed, that you see on the leaderboards, that you see on the national wake-up calls. This is what differentiates them. They let go of those limiting beliefs. They let go of those fears and go head on because of that vision, because of that why that's pushing them every single day to do what they need to do, even when they don't feel like doing it. So take action. Decide today what you're going to do and commit to doing it. And I promise you, success will come. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen. And you have to believe in that process. And I want you to, once you've done that call to action, I want you to never go back to that belief again. If you see yourself creeping back up into that limiting belief, those fears, dig your nose into a personal development book, into a podcast, into a YouTube video, and do your research just like I have. Because this is what has pushed me, that despite a year and a half into this, I feel like I'm not where I want to be. It is because I have thrown myself into personal development, thrown myself into YouTube videos, thrown myself into podcasts that will allow me to let go of those limiting beliefs. So that's my push for you guys, is whatever those fears are that you have right now that's holding you back from reaching your full potential, I want you to write them down and get rid of them. Get rid of them today and take action. So I hope you guys have an awesome night as we go into the Team Cup for this month. I know I have my team started up now, and I'm ready to rock and roll and hit some big goals and help as many people as I can. And I'm already been jumping into tons of conversations with people and building relationships. Remember that this business is about building relationships first before anything else. We are not a selling business. And remember that Beachbody is your platform. It is not your brand. It is not your brand, guys. Remember that you are your brand. You are what's going to attract people to coaching, to your business. It is you. It is who you are, what your story is what's going to allow people to be attracted to you, and then utilizing Beachbody products and resources as the platform to help them reach their potential as well. So go out there and pay this opportunity forward and help other people reach their full potential so that they can live the life that they've dreamt about since they were a little kid. And pay this opportunity forward, because this is what it is. It's a blessing, and so many people out there are still waiting for that answer. So don't think that the market is oversaturated. There aren't enough of us out there, and we need to bring this message out to them that people who are lost in this world, who are suffering, who feel like they are stuck in those lifeless jobs, they don't have to live that life. They can live it the way they design it. And I want you guys to go out there just like I am and fighting for helping people to see that vision in their lives so that they can live a more fulfilling life with their family. I hope you guys have an awesome night, and I will talk to you guys soon.